Hi everybody, my name is Nate Milton and I wanted to provide some explanation of the data behind the recent video that we're posting, how the board stole education. So first off, there's a few things to note. There's a lot of variability, even within school districts, of how much music, art, PE, and library science classes are offered. So each of the school districts, we try to be as specific as we could of where we receive the data from. So for example, in this case, we specified that in Warwick School District, we got data from Kissel Hill Elementary School. The in School District Lancaster, the numbers that we got were from Wharton, Lafayette, and Burroughs, and even within those three buildings, two of them had much more music education than the other. So for example, in this case, we had Burroughs was 1,440 minutes, instructional minutes of music, whereas Lafayette was 2,400 minutes of instructional time. Another thing I want to note is the fact that these numbers that we provide in the video are estimates. So this does not account for special schedules. If there's an assembly, it doesn't account for 2-hour delays, these types of things. So this is probably the minimum if our numbers are correct. So that's another issue. We receive this number through crowdsourcing. We just put a message on Facebook. We got messages from parents, educators, folks in the community who knew these buildings. We weren't able to verify them because most school districts we found actually don't post how much time kids are in classes. One exception to this is CV School District. So when you look at CV, they actually posted that in each elementary school, students receive music instruction in a classroom setting for 45 minutes once per 4-day cycle. So I'll get into how we figured out the instructional minutes in a little bit, but most of these numbers that you're seeing here are crowdsourced. So please check our data. We want to make sure that we're accurate, but we're hoping they're correct. Another thing to note is that these numbers are based on elementary school. So we didn't get data for the middle school or the high school. We're familiar with the elementary school because that's where our daughter goes. And so this is only reflective of elementary school. So if you are in middle school or high school, or you have a child, we would love to see that data. So please make your own video and put that up there. Okay, another thing we want to make sure that you know is we love our teachers at Manheim Township School District. We love them. We love our schools. We have fantastic folks. They're doing the best they can with a very difficult situation. I hope that no one would consider this video a criticism of teachers. It's more a critique of the board decision making and apparent mismanagement. Okay. I already talked a little bit about how we received our data. We crowdsourced it from social media, and the only website that we were able to find info from was CV, Conestoga Valley School District. All right, so I said that we crowdsourced it. What did that look like? Here's an example that I received. One friend told us about Farmdale Elementary School, and this person wrote to me and said they have music and gym 2 times in a 6-day cycle, and then art and library once. They said that specials are 30 minutes long, except for art, which is 1 hour long. And they talked about the librarian of it. So this is just an example of some of the communication that we received. So as you can see, it depends on the person reporting the data that we have this information correct. How we arrived at the instructional minutes is, so just take that example of Farmdale. What we did was we came up with the final tally, and you'll see that here in this line. This is Hempfield School District, Farmdale Elementary School. This is the percent of free and reduced lunch, students who are eligible for free and reduced lunch. And this is for the district, not building specific. Then we tallied up music, art, library, and PE. So that's sort of the numbers we came up with. So what we did, let's just take the example of music. They have music 30 minutes two times in a 6-day cycle. So what we did was we took 180 days divided by a 6-day cycle equals 30 sessions. So that we had 30 6-day cycles times 2 times per cycle. That's 60 times. So that each student would be meeting 60 times for music per year at 30 minutes a pop. And that came up with 1,800 instructional minutes per year. And that's what we did for each of our schools. Another one that I just showed you was Conestoga Valley. So this one, it should be reliable because we based it on the data listed on their website. So again, 45 minutes, one time every four-day cycle. So that's a bit different. So what we did was we divided 180 days divided by 4 equal to 45 days of music per school year. And then 45 days times 45 minutes equals 2,225 minutes. Man, I wish my kids had music in this school district for that long. That is really discouraging to see. Manheim Township, which I really hope that we have the numbers wrong because they just seem so appalling. But Manheim Township, Brecht Elementary is the building that we got the data from. And students take 40 minutes of music one time per 5-day week, so that's essentially a cycle, for one semester. That's half the school year. So what we did was we did 180 days per school year divided by 5 days per week, and that's equal to 36 days per cycle. There's 36 days of cycle days. And then students only meet one semester, so we divided that by 2. So we had 18 meeting times. 18 meeting times times 40-minute classes equals 720 minutes of instructional time. And I just really hope that that is wrong. But that's, as we ran the numbers several times, and that's what we're coming up with. So that is less than half of almost all school districts, and some less than triple of other school districts in our area. We couldn't find any other school district in Lancaster County. Now, we didn't get Columbia's numbers, and I know that they're really struggling with budgets. But any of the numbers that were crowdsourced, we couldn't find anywhere near those deep of cuts. So it's really discouraging. So there's some other data that we have included in this video. For example, we have several articles. So at the bottom of each Powtoons slide, it should be a link. It's not clickable, but at least you can see where that link is. Most of it comes from Lancaster Online. There's I think one study from a correlational study. Another place that we went for data was datacenter.kidscount.org. That lists the free and reduced students who are eligible for free and reduced lunch for the 2014-2015. That's where we came up with our numbers. So you can tell here. I'll pull this number up here. So, for example, let's just take LS. It's the first on our list. So we got Lampeter Strasburg, and for 2014-2015, and should be 21.8% for LS of students who are eligible for free and reduced lunch. And here's our numbers here, right there. So that's where we got that number from, and all of the data for each of these school districts comes from there. Last thing, just some final thoughts. This data is really striking, and once again, I really hope I'm wrong. I hope that this isn't right, but if I am right, I really encourage you to take action, advocate for the arts, advocate for the reinstatement of PE, music, library science, all these specials. They make school worth going to, fun to go to, build motivation in kiddos, make them want to go to school, give them opportunities to succeed in things that maybe they're not so good in academic areas, but maybe they'll succeed in some of these special areas, and that makes them really excited and interested in school, and then they can eventually apply some of those gains to academic areas. It's so important, and we need your help because we can't do this alone. Thanks so much for listening. I hope this helps.